Hey there, friends. I hope you're doing well. I'm Laura. Today, we've got a few things on our to-do list for our adventure series that we're working on here. The first is finish Nature's Spirit to keep that quest ball rolling. We casually commit bovine-based atrocities in Lumbridge to level up our crafting. And we knock out a couple of Slayer tasks for Mazchna to begin the long haul towards getting a Rune Pouch. Now that Rune Pouch has kind of become our North Star, because carrying multiple stacks of runes like a peasant just isn't the vibe. So strap in for spooky swamp-filled adventures, a creepy story from my teenage years, and an ADHD ramble about bugs. Grab a tea, your favorite hoodie, and let's dive in. In the last episode, a monk named Drizzle tasked us with finding his friend Filin in Morytania, so that's where we're going to begin today. When we find him, it turns out that he's actually a ghost, and we can't understand him unless we're wearing the fucking Ghost Speak amulet, which I dropped because I didn't know we needed it for any other quests. So we got a home spell back to Lumbridge to find Father Ernie. He is an irritable-ass hermit who left Lumbridge to perform a 2-year meditation retreat, but since people never stop interrupting him to ask for amulets or claiming that they've come to repossess his house, he suspects they're all part of a conspiracy against him by some fiendish cult. He sighs because he thinks that we're fucking stupid or whatever, but nevertheless, he gives us a new amulet when we ask for it. We promise to be more careful with this one, and we set off back to Moritania to speak to Filin. He's under the impression that we are the ghost, and that's why nobody can understand him, or that we can't understand him, and he gives us a task to prove to him that he is in fact dead. So we look around and find a mirror beneath a nearby bowl, which is handy. We use the mirror on Filin, which shows him that he is invisible, and at first he's kind of in a state of denial, claiming that our mirror must be defective. Eventually, he comes around and accepts that he is in fact dead. Poor guy just had his world shattered. Thankfully, he still seems in good spirits. Spirits, because yeah, you get it. He wonders why he hasn't turned into a ghast like all of the other ghasts in the swamp. And ghast is actually an interesting word that has its roots in the Old English word Gaston or Gaston, meaning to frighten or to torment. Alright, history lesson over. Filin, the not ghast, laments about his missing journal. We search the grotto tree, find it, and give it to him. And he tells us he met a violent end. Jesus Christ. But he stresses that it isn't important how he died. We ask what he's going to do now, and he tells us he wishes to protect the swamp, which used to be a forest, I guess. And he's going to do that as a nature spirit, if we can help him. Being the good Samaritan that we are, we ask, how can we help with this? Filin says he needs 3 things, all very vague, but the first is something of nature. We receive a spell scroll and are told to go to a temple to the north to be blessed in order to cast it. So, back we run to see our friend Drizzle. Fuck Jesus Christ. Drizzle tries to be funny with us, but eventually he does give us the blessing that we need. Because I have a feeling we might need to do some murdering to complete this quest, we first stop and spring Mr. Stabby from the Hooskow so he can come along with us.
You left me in there for 3 days. The pickaxe never shuts the hell up. God, I hate that guy.
Sorry? Filin wants us to join his hippie cult, so he tells us to use the bloom spell, and we do, and fucking nothing happens. Some wiki searching later, we head out to find a rotting log to cast the spell on. Like, he couldn't have told us that right from the fucking beginning. Mr. Stabby helps us dispatch the fucking shade that won't leave us the fuck alone. And it takes us 2 million years to find a rotting log, because sometimes I use the wiki, and sometimes I choose to suffer and figure things out myself.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
How the fuck do we get out of here? We cast bloom on the log once we finally find it, we collect the mushrooms that grow on it, and then we head back to Filin to find out what's next. Oh god damn it! 40 fucking agility, what the fuck's the point? Our new ghost friend is completely useless, but the wiki's got our back. So we place the mushroom on the brown stone, the used spell scroll on the gray stone, and then we stand on the orange stone to tell Filin we think we've solved the puzzle. He casts the spell and then invites us inside the grotto to continue the quest. Filin finishes his transformation into a nature spirit, then asks us to bring him another fucking item, a silver sickle. He's going to bless it, and then we can deal with the ghasts in the swamp. Now, we can either buy one of these at the Grand Exchange, or make one ourselves. I choose the latter option because I hate myself, and we head to Al-Kharid to get the mold we'll need to make it. We immediately get distracted by buying a cute plate skirt to replace our pants, and then head to the mold shop. Next begins the task of leveling our crafting to at least 18 so we can actually use the damn thing. This means going to Lumbridge to collect cow hides to tan into leather. After shamelessly murdering half the cows in Lumbridge, we take the hides to Ellis in Al-Kharid, and oh my god, tanning leather is a pain in the fucking ass! In hindsight, I learned that you can actually right-click to select a multiple that you'd like to have tanned, so you don't have to click on the dude and go through the dialogue for every single piece of leather that you want to tan like a fucking idiot, but that's besides the point. We tan our leather, head to the bank, get the shit that we need, the needle and fucking thread or whatever, we turn that into leather gloves. This is gonna take a while. So, while I speed up the footage, let me tell you a story about a haunted house I lived in as a kid. Some seriously weird things happened there, including like a movie case flying off the top of our TV in the middle of the night, which we then found in the middle of the floor in the living room. Afterwards, like it was, I don't know how that would have happened if it wasn't a ghost, but anyway, the creepiest thing involved me and my younger brother. He was about 10 or so at the time, and I was like 14. At the time, my brother's room was upstairs of the house, and mine was in the basement because I was cool. This is important to remember because my brother was a huge-ass scaredy cat and refused to go anywhere in the house without turning on the lights. And one night, at around like 2 or 3 in the morning, I woke up to him standing beside my bed, staring at me. Not a single fucking light was on, and he scared the absolute bejesus out of me. I asked him what he was doing, but instead of answering me, he just like turned around and walked back through the house to his room without turning on a single light, something I had never seen him do before. I asked him about it the next morning, and he said he didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I am 35 years old, and still, to this day, thinking or talking about this gives me the fucking shivers. Some serious paranormal activity shit, I'm telling you guys. Anyways, back to RuneScape. Our cow murdering is briefly interrupted by some trolls asking us to play pinball. We agree, rack up our 10 points, and get the fuck out of there with some emeralds as a reward. Nice. After an hour's worth of skilling later, we finally have the 18 crafting we need to make a silver sickle. Thank fucking god. We grab some silver ore on our way back to Lumbridge, then get crafting. Silver sickle acquired! God, that took forever. Anyways, back to Filin to deal with his ghastly problem. Take a whiff of that swampy goodness, boys. We're finally back in Moritania, and she never looks so good. Since Moritania sounds like the name of a ship, I like to think of the zone as a she. Whatever, moving on. Filin gives us a Rune Pouch, and then something we have to go kill ghasts. The something turns out to be cast bloom on rotten logs to grow fungi, pick the fungi, and once you have 3, use them to reveal and kill 3 ghasts. So, that's what we do. Huh. Who knew ghosts will just materialize if you offer them shrooms? Mr. Stabby makes short work of the ghasts, and though his bloodlust will never fully be quenched, he'll take what he can get when he can get it. Filin is pleased we eliminated the ghasts and goes full hippie mode, transforming the grotto into an altar of nature. He thanks us, and boom, quest complete. We pray at the altar before we leave so that we can check off one of our Moritania diary requirements, then head back out into the swamp. We're looking for our next Slayer Master named Mazchna, and I refuse to pronounce it any other way because fuck you. He's in Canifis, so we head there and he tasks us with killing 32 shades, which he then tells us are weak to magic. We make a quick trip to the bank to pick up our air staff and a stack of mind runes, then it's off to Morton, which is just southeast of Philemon's nature altar. We start fighting the Shades, and during our first battle, we get a glitch that makes us lose 5,000 mind runes from our fucking inventory. I googled the shit out of this and got nothing. Apparently, this is just a glitch that can happen. But I guess it's back to Varrock for more runes from Aubrey, I guess. We clear out his stock, and then I go back to the bank to deposit half of them just in case this fucking glitch happens again, and boom, the lost runes are back in the bank. Like, I swear I took them out, but like, maybe I didn't? I don't fucking know. No, that can't be, because I was mid-fight when the Shade... So, if I was fighting him and casting airstrike successfully, that means I must have had the runes in my bank, or in my inventory, so... It's gotta be a glitch. Anyway, this is the jank that comes from playing a 24-year-old game, and it never gets old. So, back to the swamp. On our way back, the quizmaster stops us to play his game of pick the odd one out, which we of course crush, like the giga-chads that we are. Then, like idiots, we take the alluring mystery box as our reward, foregoing the 1000 GP, and inside we find a flyer for Bob's axes. God damn it, Bob. When will we ever learn? Now, of course, I'm paranoid and keep my inventory open during combat, and we hit Slayer level 12. Woohoo! We're on our way, boys! If these fuckers could stop triple teaming me, that would be great. Our health gets low and we're out of food, so we port back to Lumbridge to prepare some better food on the castle range, which burns food less often than other ranges. The best food that we can make in terms of hit points with our current cooking level is trout. So we grab our fishing rod, some bait, and head to the River Lum to snag us some din-dins.
So cool, juicy, sweet. Our lips got to fish, so juicy, sweet.
Again, for those wondering why I don't just buy this shit, I'm not an Iron Man because I die way too often for that, but I like to be as self-sufficient as possible in this game and in every game, so if I can craft something without pulling all my hair out, I will. Alright, grub acquired, back to slaying.
I demand blood of the innocent.
Alright, we'll kill the unicorn, Jesus. One thing I really like about this game is the satisfaction I get just like walking places and learning the map. It's very intrinsically motivating, and that often gets lost in other games where fast travel, I think, is more heavily implemented. Another game that gives me the same feeling is Days Gone, where fast travel is possible, but only if you first clear the route of zombies and you have enough gas in your bike to get there. Like, fast travel is there, but, like, you gotta work for it. You gotta earn it. These goddamn zombies won't leave me the hell alone! Alrighty then, we've killed our quota, so it's back to Mazchna to get our next assignment. He asks us to murder 42 scorpions next, so it's out of the swamp, back to Lumbridge for a short hike to Alcarid where scorpions hang out around the mine. A lot of people hate bugs, but I happen to love them. I've always been like a lover of snakes, frogs, reptiles my whole life, but bugs I've only recently acquired as something that I love. I learned to love them by first falling in love with bees, because they're very important to our survival on this planet, and I do what I can to help them out. So, since ants are also hymenopteran insects like bees and wasps, my brain made the jump, and I fell in love with them too, because they're basically just, like, not furry bees. As a kid and, like, well into my adult life, I hated bugs, I was terrified of them, but now they're a bit of a passion. Millipedes and isopods, both of which I've had as pets. I have some isopods in a terrarium that I built for them right now. They're not actually bugs, by the way, they're crustaceans, like shrimp and crabs. They came next, and then they were followed by spiders. I've bred jumping spiders in the past as a hobby, and I absolutely adore them. I don't have any right now because my living situation doesn't allow me to keep spiders, but they have the cutest little faces, and they just want to be our friends. Like, you can play with them, it's like having a tiny little monkey. I don't know, but that's enough about bugs. In our next episode, we work towards getting 5 Slayer tasks complete so that we can start earning Slayer points, which we can then trade in for our coveted Rune Pouch. But that's all for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave a like to keep the zombies away, comment your own ghost stories or your favorite bugs down below, and until next time, stay weird, stay cozy, and keep leveling.